Welcome to Gold Derby. I'm senior editor Denton Davidson here with Laura Rosenthal and Jodi Angstreich, Emmy-nominated casting directors for the Hulu limited series Fleishman is in Trouble. Congratulations to both of you on this nomination. Laura, you've got a couple Emmys for Mildred Pierce and Olive Kitteridge. This is your fourth career nomination. Does it ever get old? And how much fun was this news for you?
It's always thrilling and shocking. I share both emotions, always. Very exciting to be nominated for Fleishman.
And Jodi, how about you? How did you hear this news and celebrate? This is your second nomination. You two partnered up for Unbelievable, which was nominated a couple years ago. What was the nomination like for you? And talk about your partnership with Laura.
Well, my partnership with Laura, I started as an assistant with Laura 12 years ago and has built up, and she's mentored me for the past 12 years and is always—
Now she mentors me.
And I mentor. And we have been together for so long, and we have such a close-knit office. And it's been, such a joy. Mildred Pierce was actually the first more kind of permanent gig that I was at Laura's office. I was associate on that along with Mary Beth Fox, and our other associate, Kim Ostray, was our intern on that project. So Mildred Pierce was sort of like our first baby together, I feel like, and as a family. And then I was an associate on Olive Kitteridge as well, and casting director on Unbelievable, and casting director here. And I heard about the nomination from the amazing casting department at ABC Signature. I got a text from Eric Solier, and I kind of in the back of my head, I knew that nominations were coming out soon. I didn't know when they were, and I certainly hadn't gone through the nominations yet, but started to get texts and super excited and so happy to, be recognized for this.
And on our ongoing thread, just to mention Unbelievable, working together on Unbelievable, that's how we came on to Fleishman, because the producers of Unbelievable, Sarah Timberman and Susanna Grant, basically sent us the book of Fleishman.
Well, that leads me to my next question. This is based on a book. Is that different for you to cast something based on something that already has some sort of audience? I mean, we have to find actors that are going to satisfy these people we already know or hope will love the show. It sort of has this built-in audience. Does it change things?
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting that we're just talking about this. I'll specifically say that Mildred Pierce was a book, Olive Kitteridge was a book, Unbelievable was an article, and Fleishman is in Trouble is a novel as well. So take it away, Jodi, after that.
I will say Fleishman has a very built-in fan base. And certainly, we wanted to do justice to that. I mean, I kind of always knew there was going to be a social media element on Fleishman. That was nothing that we ever thought about on the others that we've been discussing. And just that I knew that we were going to hear about it. Whoever we cast in these roles, and there's always going to be people who love and hate, and certainly there's a lot of hate online, but that definitely wanted to make sure that we kind of live up to everybody's promise while just living up to the characters on their own also.
Well, let's talk about Fleishman, because it earned 7 Emmy nominations, including Best Limited Series, as well as nominations for 2 of your actors. So the casting was a success. Claire Danes, where did you find this person? I believe she only has 10 Emmy nominations between acting and producing, and she plays Rachel Fleishman. Talk about why she was the perfect actress for this role, and what impresses you the most about her in general. And I mean, what a force of nature she is.
Well, I'll just say quickly that she is a fan of the book, and she is a fan of the role of Rachel, which was sort of a dynamic thing to have to work off of.
Absolutely. And the role of Rachel, I mean, I think Claire was definitely, a name from the very beginning that the team was all about. But the role of Rachel, we went through quite a process. We did audition people for that role. We did discuss other star names for the role, and you know, kept coming back to Claire, and she's certainly can give you, Rachel is such like a character that the audience kind of goes on this journey with her as we go through, you know, the first couple of episodes. You know, you sort of lean in towards her just like not being that likable and her being like good riddance, you know, from Toby's perspective. And then we see her perspective in episode 7, which Claire did such a beautiful job with, and really seeing how, you know, she could be all of these different things at once. And certainly nobody cries like Claire Danes, my goodness.
Yeah. I mean, and she's a star. I mean, she's been the star of so many films and TV series, but she's willing to, you know, take on a supporting role like this. And I love actors like that who, I mean, she's not leading all the way through, but she does come on strong. And those last couple episodes, especially.
You can't stop thinking about her, even if you don't see her. And that's the conceit of the sort of the novel that that I think really played well in the series. So even though we don't get all of her until episode 7, she's talked about, we see her, you envision her, you have an opinion about her, and she pops in and out, and and she sticks with you. And it isn't until we get her perspective do we understand, this is the role. This is quite a role.
The other thing with Rachel and a lot of our leads is we flash back quite a bit, and we see her in college years, and then we see her as the divorced mom. And so Claire is able to stretch that age gap in a really great way as well.
Lizzie Kaplan narrates the story, and then her character Libby really comes on strong in the latter part of the series. She's a great character actor. She can be funny. She can kill a dramatic scene. Talk about her and how thrilled you were for her nomination for this series.
So thrilled. I think just been a fan for so long. I feel like we talk about.
I've always wanted to work on something that I got to say, Lizzie Kaplan isn't something I worked on, but I got to cast it.
It's like a constant name on our lips. And her voice was super important. That, you know, how we're following her journey. And I think just, you know, what she brought to Libby at the end is, you know, just so relatable for so many women. And I know so many people are just like, Libby, Libby, Libby. Like, it's all about, you know, how that character shines. And she's written so beautifully also by Taffy Bradesser Ackner. But I think that Lizzie did.
She is the narrator. So there's something about, it's so human to think, you know, and be sure and tell everybody else what you know, and then change your mind and be able to make your audience, make the people that you are affecting also understand the human capacity to make a mistake or be a little less judgmental and be more open. And she does it with so much grace and humanity.
And Jesse Eisenberg is the focus of the series for most of it as Toby Fleishman. So let's talk about casting him and what that process was like, but then also how much time did it take to fill out the entire cast? You've got Adam Brody, the kids, Mira Mahoney and Maxim Swinton, and then so many great actors to just fill out the cast. What was, starting with Jesse, and then sort of how long the whole process takes for you to fill out a cast this incredible?
I'll let Laura talk about Jesse.
Well, I mean, nobody was, so when I don't know, maybe it'll be a footnote later. I don't know how long we were, we came onto the project before it was, we had a start date. So there were, and that was to go over lists for the leads, and thinking that we would cast Toby Fleishman first, but we talked about the other two as well. And so there was a huge amount of time that we were on before we were really casting. And when the directors came on, they went through our lists and they were like, oh, it's Jesse Eisenberg. So that just sort of relaxed the process right there to say, okay, that's who we're going to go for. And it was like one of those obvious, of course it's Jesse Eisenberg, but it took us a little while till the team started to come on that we were able to realize that role.
And then the length of project in general, it was a long one. The unique thing about this, or I would say unique / challenge of this, is we shot most of it. We started shooting in January, and the show takes place in New York City, and the show takes place in the summer in New York City. So like major props to our ADs and our line producer, because the schedules were really crazy, and figuring out how to shoot, like all of our exteriors were shot at the end, which was, I believe, it's like May. And so it was very split. Our actual casting process, I think, after we had Jesse and we had Lizzie before we started active casting. But like Laura said, it had been many months before that to get them. And then I think we were at, like, I want to say 8 to 10 months of casting for other things, which I joked with a friend who is a casting director who does half-hour shows, and he's like, "You 8 months for 8 episodes?" Like, I could have cast like 20 series for that. But like it definitely was a long process, and like the others were saying, it was during COVID, and certainly COVID always puts monkey wrench in anything you do. And so that it kept extending, but we cast this show up until like 2 days before they were done shooting. Like, it was not one that we like cast and then they started shooting after we cast. We were casting all the way through.
Well, the extensive search and hard work paid off, and Laura and Jodi, congratulations on this well-deserved nomination, and best of luck at the upcoming Emmy Awards.
Thank you so much.